Good. Yeah.
Boye, does it make it easier to bounce back knowing that it's Iowa week?
I mean, every game for us is a really big game, and I mean, this is a rivalry game. That's what you come in the Big Ten for. We have a lot of rivalries, especially in Minnesota. We play for 4 rivalry trophies. Not every team has that opportunity, and I mean, this has always been a big one for us every year. And every year that we play them, it's always a big game. And both teams come with their best ability, and it's no matter what the situation is, this is always going to be a big game. And I mean, it's always the respond mentality is just what's in our culture. Our culture always tells us to respond no matter what situation is, and then even during the game or during practice, wherever you're in, the situation is always respond and find a way to bounce back.
What would a victory mean to you guys? Winning there for the first time under Coach Fleck.
I feel like every game, every Big Ten game it's always going to be great to win a game. I mean, winning a game in the Big Ten is always going to be hard. We have a great conference that we play in, and just like the fact that it is Iowa, it means a lot to us. It's a rivalry game. Winning that trophy, it means a lot to the state of Minnesota, not just us as players, but as a whole state. It just means the world.
What do you do to pass the rivalry stories and stuff along to younger players on your team?
Every week we talk about our teams and our opponents, and Coach Fleck goes through the history of the Florida Royals and how it started and the whole story about it. When they actually had the first officially when they started trading pigs back and forth with the winners of the state fairs and how they actually went about creating the tradition of the Florida Royals. So. I mean, we always learn about that, and just hearing that story about the tradition of how long this has been going on and how many games that actually go between us, it's really interesting once you dig deep into it.
Well, what have you taken from Niles or Val or Micah that have come from other programs here?
I mean, you can't say, like I said about like pass rush and everything, but you learn everything from anybody. You can't just sit there and think that you know it all, but everybody brings a little bit of something from where they're from or where they learn. And like even if it's high school things that people learn from back in the day, you learn a little bit of new things every time that you meet somebody. So meeting them is just like, you pick their brains. You find the things that they learn or things that they do well and that you think you need to add to your game or that you want to add to your game. And that's like I talked about, like we're at the point and like with the veteran room where we talk about tendencies and talk about little things that can improve our game. And you get really nitpicky about the things that you can improve on. So finding ways to be nitpicky about everything that you do. And if someone has it, does it better than you or knows how to do it really well, you ask them how they do that, how they learn how to do that and stuff like that.
What are the challenges of trying to prepare for 2 quarterbacks? I mean, Petrus sounds like he's a little bit dinged up, and their backup did pretty well last Saturday. So how do you prepare for both?
Our defensive staff does a really good job, putting us in both situations. It doesn't matter if we, whatever type of quarterback we're going to play, they're going to make sure we have that look throughout practice, throughout the week. We're going to go through different situations and actually know how to handle those different situations, especially, I think it was Northwestern, we weren't sure who was going to play for them in the beginning of that game, and we went through the same situation. We prepared for both, and that's the best thing I like about our staff is that we don't leave any stone unturned. So taking every opportunity to prepare every situation, that's the best way to go about it.
Well, yeah, I know you're close with Big O. What's been key for him to click recently?
For him, I mean, it's just simplifying the game. I think that he's done a really good job in this year of just making sure they're focusing on his job and doing it to his best ability and doing it full out. And I think that's one thing that stands out if you watch him on the film, watch him on game day, the way he just dials in and focuses on just his job and making sure that he can do it to his best ability. It really stands out on film, and you see him making plays like he is this year. I mean, it's a joy for everyone to see that, especially for me. How close we are, just to see that for each other. It means the world to see each other succeed.
Boy, between Goodson and the 2 tight ends that they utilize a lot, I mean, what kind of challenges does that present just between running and passing?
I mean, they give us a lot of different pictures. They move guys around. They motion a lot of their guys and put them in different positions. They take their tight ends from on the line to fullback and from fullback to on the line. So just, having those pictures that pop up on you and to be able to, rely on your keys and rely on your rules and making sure that you, do your job and always having your eyes in the right spot. I think that's the biggest thing this week is making sure our eyes are in the right spot and keeping discipline and being really disciplined in our jobs this week.
Is there a different level of freshness that you feel during games with the rotations, or just maybe the fact that it's week 10 and kind of over the course of a season, do you feel fresher?
I mean, it was having the depth that we have this year. I mean, it means the world. You don't have guys playing, over 60 snaps in a game. You don't have to worry about guys being ready to play. We're always going to be ready to play because the fact is, you can, like I said, you can always give your full effort. You don't have to hold anything back. You're not waiting because, like, oh, it's early in the game. Like, I got to play the whole game. No, there's none of that. You can let it all go all the time because you always know whoever's coming in and will be able to let you catch your breath. And you always know that you'll be able to have someone to step right in and have that same energy and keep the game at the same level as you were doing the first snap or whatever snap you're in. It doesn't matter what situation we're in.
What challenges does the atmosphere of that stadium have? Fans right on top of the sidelines and everything.
I think they have a good history. That their fans are really close to the players, and I think our benches is like within like arm distance. They could almost touch us. But I think that the fact is that for us, just making sure that we're prepared for every situation. Coach always does that. Every week, no matter what the situation is, he makes sure we have the speakers playing loud noises. Things that you're going to hear during the game. He makes sure that we understand what's going to happen and what people are going to be doing to us during the game. So you're just blocking it out. And he always tells us to not focus on the external, not focus on the outside noise, and focus on the internal and focusing on the game and what we got to do and what we have accomplished. So just keeping that at bay and, not really listening to the outside noise, not listening to the fans because they're going to be there regardless. And, we have them at our home games, we have them at our away games, and just being prepared for that situation.
Lawyer, when you're one of 4 teams that are tied this deep in the season, is it hard at all to not put extra emphasis on any particular game, but still knowing that the stakes are still high with just 3 games to play?
For us as a culture, it's always the next game is the biggest game. You can't look too far forward. You can't look, behind you. And you have to keep moving. In every situation, every week we have 7 days to get ready for a game. We have a game plan for that game. We have what we have to prepare for that game. But if we start looking in the future, then you're going to miss what's right in front of you. So I don't think we can really just look forward and look past teams or look too far in the future. I think we just got to focus on every week. And that's what we always preach is focus on the next week because that's the biggest week that we have because it's our next one. So I think going into this game, we got to treat it as it's the biggest game of the year because it's our next game. And no matter who we're playing or what situation we're in, you always got to treat the next game as the biggest one.
Did you watch Ravens Vikings on Sunday at all?
I actually didn't get a chance to catch it. I did watch some highlights, but I didn't get to watch the whole game. Yeah.
I didn't know if you were thinking of one bait to score.
Oh, of course. We always want to see our guys in the NFL succeed. I'm always rooting for them. From Bate to Ben to Carter to Kamal, Tyler, Tweez, everybody.
Everyone all set? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you, Boye.
Thank you.
Boye, Sadie will take